Well, Phil, that's what your $46.7 million bought for you. Some stank, illegal alien pussy.
Yeah, well, I don't feel bad about Phil getting taken so bad when I hear that song. It's like, he probably made would you think realistically he probably made 5 of the million off of that song?
Who knows?
So that makes it at least a little more justified. And then Jesus, He Knows Me made a few million.
Well, you know what the thing is justified or not.
Yeah.
Phil should have just chosen better. I don't know that I blame the chick so much as I blame Phil.
I blame the chick for hijacking the house.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't blame her for, taking as much as she can. That's what you do. That's divorce. That's divorce.
Why would you marry a skank like that?
Look, why would you marry anybody?
Well, when you have that kind of scratch on the line,
yeah,
no way.
No matter what they say, no matter what they do, they just want your cash, Phil, when you have that much.
Yeah.
Phil or any of them. Tommy Lee, how many wives has that fucking guy had? That guy keeps regenerating new wives too.
Well, he's had at least 3, if not 4. Yeah, he's had 4.
He had
one really early on. Then he had Heather Locklear. Then he had Pam Anderson. Then he had this current one.
Yeah, Beth Furlan.
Whatever her name is.
Yeah. So that's 4. That's 3 sets of alimony he's paid. 3 payouts he's paid. And, it's like, why do you keep marrying them? So they can fucking come and wreck your car?
I don't know. When you have that kind of money,
yeah,
why would you marry a chick? Why?
No, you wouldn't. You would. I wouldn't. I would never.
I don't know if you ever seen the movie She's Out of My League.
Yeah, I've seen it.
There's a line in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
My life has been a real snatch parade.
Yeah.
Snatch parade.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude. All these guys, you never understand why they get married. It's like, obviously with Eddie Van Halen dying a few weeks ago, a lot of stories from different people have come out, and Valerie Bertinelli talking about her relationship with Eddie and this and that, and how she cheated and he cheated. And in my mind, I was thinking to myself, did either of these two really think the other wasn't cheating?
Yeah.
Here was super hot, young, famous chick that was away from her mega superstar, musician that was out on tour in a band that was known for, partying. Of course he was banging everything in every city. And of course, every actor that she worked with was trying to bang her. It was like, I was watching something. I forget what I was watching. She was talking about, I had some indiscretions and this.
I like how they always formulate that indiscretions.
Yeah, I was like, of course you did. You were a lonely 22-year-old something, in the world of Hollywood. Of course you were accepting dick from other famous guys. That's what you were doing. And of course Eddie was banging fucking groupies 5 at a time because he was 20 years old and could. How old was Eddie when they hit? 23?
No, well, let me see. He died at 65. Here we are, in 2020?
Mm-hmm.
So back up to, when did they meet? Like 80?
80 would have been 40 years ago. So he would have been 25 and 80.
And I think she was 21.
Yeah. She's 60 now. I know that.
All right. Yeah. So that's about right. So he was 25 and she was 21.
What 25-year-old guy that's in one of the most famous bands in the world and his wife isn't with him and he's got 500 chicks lining up to fuck him and they're all super hot, which guy in the world is not going to take advantage of that? None. They're all going to cheat. And on her side, she's off doing one day at a time and, and then she's on the Hollywood set. And once she gets away from Schneider trying to bang her, she's probably seeing some hotter model guys, you know, that are on the lot with her and said, "Oh, are you lonely? Well, let me take you to lunch and, you know, we can talk about how lonely you are with your husband. What's he do again? Oh, he's in a band. Oh, that's nice. Come on over to my trailer and have lunch."
Yeah. I got a personal story here.
Okay.
This kind of reminded me of this.
Mhm.
When I was in my early 20s,
Yeah.
I used to work for Roadway Express, the trucking company.
Sure. Mhm.
And I lived out in California, and there was a dispatcher who, he worked there with me.
Mhm.
And his cousin was what was her name? Esterline. She was married to John Mellencamp.
Okay.
She was his first wife. Okay.
All right.
He was her cousin. And he showed me pictures of he and John Mellencamp sitting together playing guitars together.
Okay.
This was before he was, famous. Was Esterline. I can't remember what her first name was. But anyway, regardless of that. So when he became famous, he met this girl, what was her name? Granucci was her name.
Her name is Priscilla Esterline.
Yeah, Priscilla Esterline. And then he met the girl that was in the Jack and Diane video.
Okay.
Something Granucci. Can you find that?
I'm looking. Jack and Diane video. That would be Vicky Granucci.
Yeah, Vicky.
Mm-hmm.
So he banged out two girls with her.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he really blew up during the Lonesome Jubilee tour,
Okay.
I guess he, banged out some groupies or something during that tour.
Okay.
And he ended up getting divorced right after the Lonesome Jubilee tour. And that's when he wrote the album Big Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Which he kind of like was reflective of, well, I was out there fucking around and I was banging out groupies and she was at home with the two girls and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Then when I met him in 1991 during the Whenever We Wanted tour,
Okay.
he was with that model. What was her name?
It's me.
What was her? Look that up. She was in his Get a Leg Up video. That's where he met her. She was like a young chick and he was like in his 40s.
Get a Leg Up chick is what's her name? Let me try and get a leg up model. Elaine Irwin.
There we go. Elaine Irwin. I met him during that tour and I met her and they were just dating at the time.
Okay.
And he ended up marrying her and banging out two boys with her.
What's wrong with him?
And then after, I don't know, 15, 18 years of marriage, they're split up.
Oh, Jesus.
Divorced.
Dummy.
And her, his kids are kind of like hellraisers in like Bloomington, Indiana. I guess
Can't
they've
believe
got
that.
HUD and Spec Mellencamp.
HUD and Spec?
Yeah, Spec he's named after his grandfather.
Okay.
And HUD is named after a movie with what's the guy that acted with what the hell's his name? The Butch Cassidy movie. What is the name of that
Young
guy?
Guns?
No.
Emilio? I don't know.
No. Way before that.
John Wayne? I don't know.
No, famous actor. Look it up real quick. It's
What, am I fucking Google over here?
Yeah, you are. You're my.
What am I looking up?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Butch Cassidy and the 69 film?
Yeah.
Paul Newman?
Paul Newman. Paul
Right.
Newman had a movie called HUD, HUD.
Okay.
And I guess he named his kid after that movie or something, like the character in the movie.
Wow, creative. He's a strange looking fella himself these
Who,
days.
who's that?
John Mellencamp.
Yeah.
Look at that photo I put up of him. Fucking John Astronomy looks at him and says he's got a big forehead. Jesus Christ. That looks almost photoshopped.
Well, yeah, that's with Elaine Irwin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That head is huge. Jesus. It's like he was doing the Coneheads movie and he just cut the top off.
So there's a guy who had a lot of commercial success with his music and his talent. I've seen John Mellencamp at least, I'm going to say at least a dozen times, and I met him once.
Okay.
And I met him, during the Whenever We Wanted tour, which he was just dating Elaine Irwin at the time. They weren't married yet.
Okay.
And I met him and her on that tour. I met them at the Richfield Coliseum.
All right. Wow.
Yeah. And, I got to have a talk with John. I chit-chatted with him for about 5 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to her for a couple of minutes and so on and so forth. But getting back to the point of the whole Phil Collins thing.
Yeah.
Here's another guy who is really talented, but went through wives like I changed socks,
Yeah.
just pissing away your livelihood, your money. It's like, obviously, regardless of if you're a fan or not,
Mm-hmm.
John Mellencamp is a talented performer.
Sure.
Good writer, good performer, has had a 40+ year career,
Yeah.
but marries these women and then pisses away his.
I'm gonna say, unfortunately, every time he gets laid, he goes out and buys a ring.
Exactly.
It's like, dude, stop.
It's like, what in the hell is wrong with you people?
Yeah, it's like you're allowed to bang them and then send them on their way.
Yeah.
Just stop it.
But they end up, marrying them, and then they piss away millions of dollars in a settlement to get rid of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's insanity. And I guess when you have that much money, you don't care, but
I guess not.
I don't know. To me, it would still be the principle. It would still be the principle of why am I paying this bitch that I don't like anymore? Why is she taking anything from me?
Exactly.
Why is she getting 1/10 of one play on Spotify from me?
Did she help me write Small Town? Did she help me write Rain on the Scarecrow?
Yeah. Which part of Hurt So Good was she a part of?
Exactly.
It's like, get the fuck out of here with that. They should get percentages of, and I mean minor percentage, like 1% of any albums that they were actually married during. That's what they should get. There's no way he should owe Elaine Irwin. She was the hot chick with the great ass and the jeans, right?
Well, she's a model. I really don't know much about
in the video.
her.
Yeah.
She was in the Get a Leg Up video.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so give her a little bit of money for that. I mean, how much did he end up paying her on that? Do you know?
I have no idea what their settlement was.
If it's more than like $300,000, it's fucking ridiculous.
It's millions.
Yeah, it's crazy. She's got to keep the lifestyle, which is nonsense too. Why do they have to keep the lifestyle?
Well, this is what I'm accustomed to.
So?
Well,
he's accustomed to having an extra $20 million that he earned.
Well, here's the thing. When I was married at a foolish young age of 21 years old, when at 23, almost 24 years old, when I decided, man, I got to get the fuck out of this thing.
Yeah.
My former wife, and I lived in California at the time. So California was the 50-50 state at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So she kept throwing up the whole, well, I'm entitled to. Are
you? Why? What did you do?
Nothing.
Yeah. What exactly did you do? That's always my answer. Dude, when I was going through my divorce, I was like, I was like, you could take anything you want that we accumulated together. You can have all of it. I don't give a fuck. But you are not taking anything from me from this business. I was like, you wouldn't fucking help me with this business? I will not pay you a penny. I swear to God, I'll go live under a bridge before I'll give you a nickel. And I wasn't going. I would have quit working completely, let a judge put any judgment he wanted to on me, put me in jail for all I care. I was never going to pay her.
Yeah. Then you look like Phil Collins on a cane.
Yeah. Instead of the homeless guy I'm looking like tonight. Jesus. I'm doing much better with my good settlement.
But yeah, that was the whole thing that she kept throwing up in my face was, well, I'm entitled to.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself. You know what? I banged you 30 times. Here's $4,000.
Yeah. Well, I gave her $5,000. That's funny you brought that up because I gave her $5,000 in cash and I gave her the new car and she was happy with that.
Which is more than you would have paid if you just banged out chicks, if you banged out hookers.
You're probably right. And fortunately, I didn't bang out any kids with her or anything. So it was just like, here's $5,000, here's a new car, and I'll get lost.
How many times? I mean, how long were you married? 3 years?
Well, just under 3 years.
How long did you date before that?
A year.
So you banged her what? 100 times?
Maybe.
So if you banged her 100 times, you gave her $5,000?
Yeah.
It's roughly 125 a time plus a car. How
Yeah.
much was the car worth?
I don't know. This was 1987, so
10
I
G's.
don't know, maybe 5 or 6 G's.
All right, so we'll say 6, or we'll say 5. We'll go low.
All right.
$10,000, 100. You gave her 500 times a fuck. $500 a fuck.
Yeah, it was more than a hooker, a good quality hooker would have cost.
And I can promise you some of those 100 times weren't as good as what you would get for 500 from a good hooker. Some of those times had to be going through the motion fucks. Because that's just how it is in relationships.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's just, all right, I need to fucking lose this shit and I don't want to take care of it myself.
Right.
Here, handle this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, but you still came out okay. I guess $500 a bang is not that bad on the.
No, I mean, I paid that off. I was making pretty good money. So I was able to just, get that paid off and be done with it.
I wonder what the divorce-o-meter rating is for Phil. Jesus, he probably paid
$50,000 a bang.
or more. 80 million?
100,000 a bang or a million a bang.
I mean, he's in his late 60s or 70s or something. So I don't think he was banging her like he would have when he was 20. He's probably banging her once, 2-3 times a month at that age. So 2-3 times a month for 10 years. That's 36 times a year. How many years?
10 years.
So 36 times a year times
360.
360. What's 80 million divided by?
Well, ask Siri. How much is 80 million divided by 360?
Hey Siri. How much is 80 million divided by 360?
80 million divided by 360 is about 222,222.2222.
So $225,000 a bang.
You could get the most top shelf chick for even 1% of that.
Top shelf chick. You could buy Ozzy Ace's whorehouse. You can have fucking 10 chicks on standby for that kind of money.
Right.
Jesus. $225,000 a fuck.
Wow.
And it might be more. I mean, we're just assuming that.
Yeah, we're going low end here.
Mm-hmm. We're just assuming that Phil was banging her 3 times.
We're looking at $250,000 a bang.
Yeah. I mean,
$250,000 a bang.
Might even be more because, I mean, think about it. We're giving Phil credit for 3 times a month. I don't think he could have banged her the last 3 or 4 years when we saw him being wheeled out to get to play shows. I don't think he could bang her 3 times with a fucking crane attached.
Exactly.
It's like, Jesus. I mean, she might be pushing $500,000 a fucking fuck. Jesus.
That is some expensive Korean looking pussy.
Yeah, no kidding. Jesus, man. That shit better feel like paradise.
And there's no jacket required.
Yeah, of course not. There better not be. There better not be a plastic jacket required on that Jimmy. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, he did bang out a couple kids with her.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Which further stupid. Jesus. Yeah. See, this is my point. BLM has it right in the chat room. That smoking hot chick that he just posted in there that looks like Jennifer Aniston if she had big tits. That's not worth $250,000 a fuck. No way. Not even once. Nothing is worth that. That's a lot of coin, man.
That is a lot of coin.
You can have a 2-story house or fuck me. Take your pick. I'd own a goddamn neighborhood. Holy shit.
Yeah. Wow.
Insanity.
That is insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of insanity,
All right.
rock star Jon, I'm the white privileged poster boy Bon Jovi,
Okay.
gave a small concert at a drive-in rally in eastern Pennsylvania for Joe Biden on Saturday. That is today. Performing 3 songs and praising Biden's response to the coronavirus.
Fantastic. Those 8 people that saw it must have been amazed.
Right. The rocker took the stage in Dallas, Pennsylvania, wearing a black face mask that he peeled off
No, he didn't.
to play the acoustic version of Who Says You Can't Go Home, Living on a Prayer, and Do What You Can. I don't even know those songs aside from Living on a Prayer,
I know Living on a Prayer.
which was recently released and dedicated to those on the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic.
Oh, thank God we took care of those frontliners.
Bon Jovi also pulled out notes to praise Biden, saying, I wrote my comments down because I never played a drive-in with all the horns honking, so it's a little different.
Yeah, is it, John? Unfortunately, your fucking candidate needs to write everything down so he can remember what he's doing.
Yeah.
You fucking moron.
So Jon Bon Jovi made the trip over from New Jersey to northeastern Pennsylvania to play in front of 10 cars.
Good for him. What a patriot.
He is. The rocker added that Joe knows that masks are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of strength.
Or stupidity.
Sign of strength.
Good for you, John.
Delivering a speech a short time later as hundreds. Now, I watched 2 Trump rallies today. He played in Circleville, Ohio, and he played in Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Okay.
He had no less than 10,000 people at each rally. But Jon Bon Jovi played in front of hundreds of cars.
Jon Bon Jovi couldn't draw 1,000 with Joe Biden.
But Trump was talking in front of 10,000 people at each rally.
Well, he's the Trump.
He is. Delivering a speech at a short time later as hundreds of cars honked their horns in approval. They honked their horns in approval.
Boy, that must have been some fun to see.
Biden said that Bon Jovi has always gone wherever I've asked him and called him a friend and a quote unquote national treasure.
Oh, please. Please.
He's a national treasure.
Jesus Christ. Are you kidding? Why? Because he wrote some songs people know?
Yeah.
Look, I'll give John credit where credit's due, and I hate this fucking guy. So, It's not easy for me to say that Jon Bon Jovi did anything good. But his homeless thing where he feeds people for free, that's pretty cool of him.
Well, again, this goes back to the whole John Mellencamp thing. I love John Mellencamp as an artist and a performer, and he wrote a lot of great songs. I've seen John Mellencamp and met him and so on and so forth over the last, 35 or 40 years.
Right.
I've seen John Mellencamp at least 20 times.
Right.
Because I love his music. I like what he does. I enjoy his music. I enjoy his records and all that other kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't agree with his politics. I don't agree with his viewpoint of the world and all these other things, but I still like his music. And like you, I know you can't stand Jon Bon Jovi. I can't stand him either. He's a liberal douchebag.
Yeah, he's a dick.
But he's a talented guy. You can't take that away from him.
And he does some good things. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sure he does. You can't say, well, he's a fucking fag, man. He's fucking sucks. Regardless of that, he and his band have put out some great music over the years, and he's done some good things, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
But as a person, and from all accounts, from people that we personally know who have had interactions with Jon Bon Jovi, he's a fucking dick.
Yeah, he's a douche nozzle.
He's a douche.
Yeah.
But, again, can't take away from his talent.
Nope. Yeah, no, I mean, and that's exactly it, is, you can appreciate the guy for doing something, but, doesn't mean he's not a cunt.
Yeah.
In certain circumstances, he's not a cunt. Oh, look at this gig. Holy shit. This is a guy that has like 200 million record sales.
That's what I'm saying. He played in front of 20 cars.
And he's got 2 school buses behind him, a fucking $400 sign, and some hay bales.
Well, he's down home.
Good for him.
Look at him.
It's like Farm Aid 2.
It is. I mean, he's up in Kendall's country up there.
Good for him.
Up in the Lucerne Valley area.
Right. Oh, good for him.
Yeah. He's got a big smile. He's strumming that guitar. He's happy as fuck.
Yeah, big dumb teeth.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm supporting a Alzheimer patient.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder if Joe even knows who that is.
No, he doesn't know it. Are you kidding me?
I'd like to thank you for coming, Richie. Oh, I mean, John.
Yeah, whatever the fuck your name is.
Yeah.
My campaign told me that you would be a big draw.
Yeah.
We got twice as many cars here as we normally do. There's normally 10 cars, but there's 20 cars here today.
I can see him getting up there and going, I loved when you did Hotel California.
Exactly. So Trump is in Circleville, Ohio, which is a small town. I've been there myself because when I used to drive a truck, I've actually picked up in Circleville. It's kind of south of Columbus.
Sure.
He had like 10,000 people there, and then he went to Waukesha, and there was like 10 or 15,000 people in Waukesha tonight.
I think this is going to generate more votes.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Fucking 80-year-old Jon Bon Jovi singing songs people don't know. That'll lure the voters in.
Sure they will.
Look at these cops behind. They're not even looking under to see what's going on. The music's so compelling they couldn't give a shit less.
He's got the hay bales and the pumpkins going on.
Oh, it's great.
He's happening.
Yeah. I'm sure there was polling too about the pumpkins. Well, let's put 2 on this one and 1 on this one. I'm sure it's not random. Where's King Kong Harris? Why isn't she out there?
Well, I heard that. I don't know if you saw the video, but she was apparently in Cleveland today.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
Oh yeah, she was in Cleveland today, and she was caught on a hot mic.
Okay.
Asking her quote unquote her assistants to she said literally there's like a video out there that says, we're in Cleveland, right?
oh
And they go, yeah, you're in Cleveland. Then she goes, hello, Cleveland.
boy. So glad to be here.
She had no idea where she was.
Yeah.
No idea.
Well, I mean, I would say in a normal circumstance, they are flying all over the country doing 2 or 3 stops a day, but
Yeah,
I
but
don't
so
think
is
these guys
Trump.
do.
So is Trump.
But these guys don't, do they? She's not
Typically,
down to-
no.
I mean, usually we hear that the two of them put a lid on by like 8:05 a.m. for the day. You know, I mean, they're not out there constantly touring, are they?
No. The only one who's doing that is Trump.
Yeah. And, you know, this may be stupid, but I'm going to go back to the old Aerosmith fucking logic. One of the jobs of the main stage manager was always to tape the name of the city on the monitor in front of the singer.
Yeah.
That's part of the gig.
Yeah.
Is that not part of the gig for these guys to tape the name of the city? Oh, I don't know. On the door as you're walking off the airplane?
Exactly.
You're in Cleveland?
Yeah. Listen to this. Listen.
All right.
Hey, Cleveland! It's
That was it. We're in Cleveland.
Where are we? Cleveland?
Yeah, we're in Cleveland.
I always love seeing my town getting absolutely shit on.
It's just like we're in Cleveland.
Thanks, Kamala. You got the vote of all Clevelanders with that comment.
Right. Is that where we're at today?
I wish they would have said no, Pittsburgh. That would have been great.
That would have been funny.
Oh, can you imagine all the booing that would have gone if she would have said hello, Pittsburgh? She would have lost the entire fucking Ohio.
But still, think about that. You're en route to a destination and you don't know what that destination is.
You're just flying somewhere. Yeah, most of the rock stars will tell us the same thing, that they never know where they are.
But she's not playing a 90-minute rock show.
Oh, well.
And supposedly she's not like all drugged up on booze and, weed and whatever.
Yeah, well, who knows? I don't know.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, delivering a speech a short time later as hundreds of cars.
Hundreds. Wow, good for her.
Honked their horns in approval.
Wow.
Biden said that Bon Jovi has always gone wherever I've asked him and called him a friend and a national treasure. Biden held 2 drive-in rallies in Pennsylvania on Saturday and has said for months he expects to win a state that could play a critical role in deciding next month's election.
That's fantastic.
We're not doing fracking anymore, Pennsylvania, so you're going to be out 1 million jobs.
Yeah. But vote for me.
Biden noted on the podcast that some unions have endorsed his economic plan to retrofit infrastructure to make it more environmentally friendly. He said that could create millions of new green jobs.
And what union was that? The Soros Communist Party union?
Exactly.
Fuck out of here with that. What union is gonna fucking support the guy that's saying we're gonna kill jobs?
Nobody.
If there's a union of any sort that is saying, well, you know what, we endorse this guy that says we're cutting jobs, then whoever the head of their union is should be fired immediately.
I agree.
I mean, look, I think unions blow cock. They fucking suck, and they did me 0 favors. The Steelworkers Union did me no service when I got fucking blown up. I mean, not so much as a fucking get well soon card. So fuck the Steelworkers Union. But that being said, their job is to guarantee jobs. That's their function. That's their only function, is to guarantee jobs. So if you can endorse somebody that's saying, well, we're going to cut an industry out of your state, fuck you. You're not a fucking union leader. You're a fucking political pundit. Idiots.
I agree.
Ugh. Well, I'm glad to hear, though, that Joe Biden's drawn almost as many people as a Metallica movie does at the drive-in. It's fantastic. I can see him.
I don't think he's even drawn that many.
Well, he got almost 100 cars there, Neely.
Almost 100.
It's great.
Yeah. All right. Following up on a story we did a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Netflix subscriptions have plummeted and cancellations increased by 800%.
Wow.
After the release of the controversial French film Cuties.
Cuties. Back in the news, huh?
Yeah. So Netflix took a big hit for that.
Okay.
Netflix subscriptions plummeted and cancellations increased by 800% following the release of the controversial French film Cuties. Data unearthed by two analytic firms indicated that there was a sharp uptick in the number of people who canceled their subscriptions around the same time that calls were growing a boycott of Netflix over its airing of the film Cuties.
Okay.
Antenna, excuse me, a data analytics firm that tracks Netflix subscribers, reporting a meaningful spike in churn rate shortly after the hashtag cancel Netflix went viral.
Okay. Wow.
Churn measures the number of the subscribers who cancel pay services like Netflix for any reason, according to USA Today. In mid-September, Antenna noted that Netflix was losing 5 times as many subscribers in the days after the release of Cuties than the company lost in the previous months.
Yeah.
Another analytics firm also reported in mid-September that churn in the U.S. rose materially this week as a result of the Cuties backlash.
Mm-hmm.
Days after the hashtag went viral, it was reported that disconnects were running at a nearly 8 times the daily levels observed in August and reached a multi-year high.
Well. Yeah, but the unfortunate thing is they'll all come back.
Well, maybe.
They will. People have no conviction to anything, dude.
That is true. I'm going to agree with you there.
It's like at the beginning of the show, I'm sure you didn't see this, but our friend Dan Pate kind of took a dig at me because I'm wearing my Browns hoodie, which I always wear because, like I said at the beginning of the show, it's fucking cold in here.
Okay.
It's just my convenient hoodie. And he's like, see, I'll bet you he's not really boycotting football. I'll bet he's still watching it because he's wearing that hoodie. It's like, dude, are you fucking kidding? Me, who admits everything I do. Me, the guy that admitted to sticking his dick in a fucking ham, for God's sakes. And that's going to be my big secret, that I'm secretly watching football?
You're still wearing a hoodie because now you're still being very supportive of the Browns.
Yeah. And that'll be my big secret, that I'm secretly still watching football? Not that I stuck my dick into a piece of fucking dead meat? Come on, dude. Wake up.
Well,
hold on. That attitude that he has comes from the fact that he and probably most other people don't have conviction to their own words. They say something, and then when it's not convenient anymore, it's like, oh, well, I tried, but man, I just love football too much, man. I can't just not watch it. It's too important to my life. Shut up. Same with this shit. I'm going to cancel Netflix because of Cuties. And then the first fucking Saturday, 2 months from then, when they're bored and they can't find anything on HBO Max or whatever, they're going to be like, it's only fucking $9. Whatever. I'll just sign back up, see what they got. I can get a free week. I'm in. Fuck it. People stink, man. No conviction to anything.
Well, I agree. And as much as a Steeler fan as I am, since you brought up football, I haven't watched one game yet. Not at all.
I have no interest.
And I love football. I love the Steelers, but I haven't watched any football at all.
Yeah.
None.
Mm-mm.
Zero. And believe me, I thought about it. It's a Sunday and it's just like, man, what am I going to do? It's like, well, I could tune into some football. It's like, fuck it. I'm not doing that.
Dude, I've changed my whole schedule around. I mean, not because of football, but it just works out that way. You know, we finish the show at 3-ish, and it takes me till about, I don't know, 7 or 8 to get all the processing done of the video and stuff for the show and the podcast and everything. So I get done about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I go to sleep. And I sleep till like 2 or 3. And then the football, you know, the local game, the Browns game, is generally either close to over or over, you know, where it's like, I'm not going to turn that on. I'm going to fucking find me a documentary on Amazon Prime. There's got to be some killer I haven't learned about yet.
Right.
You know, and that's how it goes.
Yeah. Well, as a, you know, a kid who was brought up, you know, in Steeler Nation, as it were,
Mm-hmm.
at my age now, it's really a tough thing to go, man, I hate to not watch the Steelers because, you know, I guess they're on a trajectory to be, you know, top of the league at this point, but I have not watched it. And it kills me to not have to do that. But, you know, I'm sticking to my principles. I love the Steelers and I love football, but I haven't done it.
Dude, I said it before. The kneeling and the disrespect for the fucking service. I don't give a shit what they say their meaning is. I don't give a flying fuck. To me, it's insulting. To me, it's insulting enough to not patronize their product. And that's that. To me, it's not even a hard decision. It's a simple decision. It's like go do whatever you're going to do. And I'm going to tell you I'll tell you the absolute truth. I take great fucking glee. I am absolutely happy when I see on YouTube stories that say NFL ratings down X%, NFL or NBA ratings down 70%. That shit makes me happy as fuck, knowing that there's as many people that have stuck to their guns about this bullshit.
I agree.
It's like finally a little bit of this fucking country has some sense of fucking identity and balls to say, nah, I've had enough of this shit.
Well, I go back to what our good friend Jericho Green says.
Mm-hmm.
People vote with their wallets.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what it boils down to. It's like, I'm voting with my wallet. You're not getting any of my revenue, any of my dime for your stance, whatever that stance may be. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I've had John and a couple other people that have said to me, they're all like, you picked a bad year to skip out, dude. The Browns are looking good. I'm like, fuck it. I don't care if they go to the fucking Super Bowl. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to support it. It's bigger than fucking a bunch of ass clown millionaires on a fucking field. It's about fucking the purposeful insult to the fucking military, which I served under, which I served during a war under, or a conflict, I guess. I guess Gulf War I is considered a conflict, not a war. But, you know, it's just like, to me, that's more important. The service is more important. The fucking, you know, as recently as this week, you got the main representatives of the broadcast that's going to have the Super Bowl shitting on the military flyover this week. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck.
Yeah, I saw the headlines for that.
Yeah. And they're taking a massive shit on the flyover. So you know what? It just makes my decision that much fucking easier. It's like, see, you dummies haven't learned anything. You're still shitting on it. So fuck you. You know, it's like, fuck off. You know, to me, it's simple. It's not even a hard decision. It's an easy decision.
Yeah, it's not a hard decision. It's just that you kind of miss it a little bit.
Well, you know what? I can watch old games on YouTube.
True. And I have. And
yeah, I have too.
Yeah.
Or on the there's an NFL channel on fucking Pluto, which I know doesn't benefit the NFL because it's all been purchased by the company that owns Pluto. So I know it doesn't help the NFL. So fuck, I'll watch it there. I don't care. As long as I'm not fucking supporting the NFL, I don't give a shit.
All right, New York-based, I can't even pronounce this name, which sells information to institutional investors, aggregates and analyzes data, sets the track the behavior of millions of U.S. consumers, including from panels for email recipients, online transcriptions, app data, etc., and web traffic. The two analytic firms would not say how they obtained the subscription data. Since the subscriptions deal directly with Netflix, the streaming giant is the only company that has exact figures on subscription rolls. On Wednesday, Netflix sent a letter to its investors saying that it fell short of its subscriber goal last quarter. In the 3 months period, which ended on September 30th, 2.2 million global subscribers joined Netflix. Of those, just 180,000 signed up for the service in the United States. Those results were a sharp drop from the first 2 quarters of this year, when Netflix added 16 million and 10 million subscribers respectively. Netflix, which anticipated a drop in the numbers of subscribers during the third quarter, told investors that the easing of the coronavirus lockdown, as well as a stronger competition from streaming services, would likely lead to a slowdown in growth. Cuties, directed by French, blah, 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 I can't even pronounce all that, tells the story of Amy, an 11-year-old girl who chafes against her strict Muslim parents and finds solace with a dance troupe. Inspired by a music video and social media, the girl group learns and practices provocative and sexualized choreography in preparation for a dance competition. The film, set in a poor suburban area of Paris, is inspired by her own experiences and a social commentary on the need to protect children. But the film, which shows the young girls in provocative dance poses, has been accused of hypersexualizing children. The movie has sparked anger since its September 9th Netflix release, prompting calls for a boycott of Netflix. The hashtag cancel Netflix began trending on social media. Netflix did not produce or develop Cuties. Instead, it brought the rights to distribute the film after it won critical acclaim at the Sundance Film Festival, where it debuted in January.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they could have, and I know their stance is that, well, we already paid for it, and we paid a blah 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 blah. They've paid more for it.
Yeah,
they could have just pulled it and ate the loss because it was a stupid decision, which it was. You know, somewhere along the line, the quality control team failed at Netflix.
I agree.
The quality team just failed Netflix by not fucking saying, well, we're not going to bring this movie in. So, you know what? Sometimes you fucking eat your dick on a project. You know, dude, in your business, I know for a fact you've wasted 10, 20, 30, 40 hours on a project only to have it fall through. True?
Absolutely.
And your bosses might get a little bit pissed off, and you might get a little bit pissed off, and you spend that time driving home that night when the deal falls through going, that motherfucker, how could he fuck me like that? And then you move on.
Yeah, it's the price of doing business, as it were.
Yeah, and they had that opportunity to do that, but they force-fed it anyway, and then they tried to justify it and then they tried to hide it with this fucking going back to the old poster thing. You know, they were shady all the way around with it, and they're getting fucked for it. And you know what? Good. I mean, it's not really hurting them yet business-wise, but it will eventually. Netflix is in a lot of trouble. I don't know. I mean, not just because of Cuties. I mean, Cuties is what it is, but dude, now I don't know if you've noticed this or if you even watch enough TV to notice this, but all of a sudden, within the last, I mean, honestly, 6 months, every channel now has a pay-per opportunity. There's BET Plus, there's AMC Plus.
Yeah, of course. It's the paywall thing.
Yeah, but they're all launching it. Well, where do you think 9/10 of fucking Netflix's material comes from? Netflix is gonna turn into a channel in a similar way that NBC is a channel, and they'll have their original content on there, but they're not going to have any of the other stuff to lure people to it. You know, they're the failing one, and Amazon is just stepping right up and taking the ball from them. You know, whether you like the movie or not, I think I liked it personally. I don't think you liked it as much as I did, but Amazon released the new Borat movie this week. That's a fucking huge coup for Amazon.
Well, I agree, and again, that was a huge get for them.
Yeah.
But I watched the movie last night, and I was just like, okay, there's some kind of, edgy, funny stuff there.
Yeah.
But the whole premise of the movie was, again, a slap at somebody who has a conservative viewpoint.
Of course, but it's Hollywood. That's what you get. But,
well, I agree.
You know, I mean, some of it was funny when he was doing the fucking dance with the daughter. Oh my God, I was rolling.
Yeah, and of course it was the whole, again, it's the whole vagina jokes.
Yeah, of course.
Vagine.
Yeah, and I was laughing my ass off when the dress was all covered with blood and shit.
Yeah, and then of course she had the big hairy bush.
Yeah,
and all I could think of was, boy, Jacko would enjoy that. I mean, this girl had a big hairy bush, and she's like, flashing her, she had her dress pulling up at the debutante ball.
Yeah.
And the whole thing. And it was just like, okay, I get it. It's funny. It's shocking.
Yeah. I think, and it's weird because there's a part of me that thinks the reason that we don't love the Borat movie is because we're so far past what normal people would find shocking.
Well, here's the thing. And this is the only takeaway from the whole Borat thing that I found in the whole video is the attending the CPAC convention.
Yeah.
How they got away with that. That's the only thing that I questioned. It's just like, how did you orchestrate that? And I'm going to say number 2. How did they orchestrate the whole thing with Giuliani?
Yeah. Well, Giuliani probably just did it, didn't he? Or did he say he didn't?
Again, he looked like he was acting in the whole thing. And probably he was.
Yeah.
But why would a high profile guy like that agree to do something that goofy?
Because he's not a politician anymore. He's a private citizen.
I get it. But the thing is he is a confidant to President Trump.
Probably threw him a fucking $1 million. He said, sure, what the fuck?
Okay.
The guy tackled the mob, for God's sakes. He's not afraid of bad press.
No. I agree with you. I completely agree with you, but it just put him in a very compromising position.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, now it's a whole big story. It's like, look at him laying on the bed with his hand down his pants and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, why would you agree to do that? You're a guy who has prominent position, and maybe you got paid. Maybe you got paid to do this movie, whatever it was. But this really cast you in a bad light.
Or maybe he doesn't care anymore. He's what, 70?
Well, maybe he doesn't, but the thing is he does have relationships with President Trump. And if he didn't have a connection to Trump or the presidency or the White House, maybe I could go, okay, yeah, that's pretty funny. But the thing is he is an active lawyer with the Trump team.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It just seems like he just doesn't give a shit. Which, and I get it, and I mean, the other part of it too that, for better or for worse, but is probably that it was an acting gig, and he was just playing a fucking role.
And I agree with that, but there was really no pretext to, hey, Rudy Giuliani is acting in this Borat film. So it comes out like he's some kind of like fucking pervert that he wants to bang out a 17-year-old.
Well, I think part of that, though, honestly, is that for all we know is creative editing, and he might have signed, you know, the fact that Borat was doing a movie, I don't even think was super well known. So, you know, I mean, it could very well be that they had a gag order when they fucking agreed to be in the movie.
True.
We don't know that.
Well, I'm going to agree with you. I completely agree with you, but Rudy Giuliani obviously is very close to the president.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, even though it's funny,
Yeah,
and I agree with the funny part,
mm-hmm.
but it's just like, maybe you shouldn't be doing that. If you're not in that position of power per se,
Yeah.
or in a position of influence, maybe you should pass on that kind of shit.
I don't know. I just think that he doesn't give a fuck.
Well, maybe
You know?
he doesn't, but my point is maybe you shouldn't have the associations that you do, or your active associations that you do when you do this kind of shit.
Yeah. But yeah, again, we don't know much about it, and this is where I don't want to make any assumptions. He might have run it by President Trump, and President Trump might have said, "Sure, I don't give a fuck. Go ahead." I mean, we don't know. You don't know that he didn't do that.
That part is true as well.
You know, we don't know what was said or what wasn't said. The only thing we know for sure is it doesn't make him look real good. But
yeah, I agree.
You know, I mean, in the end, you know, people have done a lot worse acting, and one of the main reasons this is stirring up controversy is because everybody's comparing this movie to the first one.
Yeah, of course.
Where he did a lot of shit because nobody knew what Borat was.
That is true.
But clearly, not only was this one scripted, but I heard Landau yesterday or day before on Kumia talking about how one of his comic friends wrote on this movie.
Yeah, of course.
So it's all written.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's not this random. And I mean, the way they shot it made some of it look random, and some of it probably was, like when Borat was on the street and people were asking for his autograph and shit. You know, that was they probably just turned him loose and had a camera across the street and just filmed it so that it looks like it's just, you know, like it's the original movie. And Giuliani didn't do himself any favor. I'm not trying to say Giuliani did himself any favors. I'm not saying that at all. But I think that the outrage or the shock value or the if that laptop didn't come from Giuliani's fucking hands, I don't think we're hearing about this story right now.
I agree. I completely agree.
That's the only reason we're hearing about Rudy Giuliani giving himself a handy in a fucking movie is because that laptop went from Giuliani to the state's attorney or whoever it went to in Delaware.
Right.
That's the only reason we're hearing about it right now.
I agree. I completely agree.
You know, so. You know, and Rudy's one of those guys. He's probably like, I'm not going to buy into you guys' fucking petty horse shit. Fuck you. You know, Rudy don't care. What are they going to do? Stop him from being the president? Fuck. He's fucking 100 years old himself. And he's not afraid of anything. He fucking took on the mob. Everybody forgets that part of it. He took on the mob.
And he handled 9/11.
Mm-hmm. I would say taking on the mob during the Gotti days was more dangerous than 9/11.
Well, dangerous-wise, yeah. I agree.
I wouldn't want to be the guy that put the fucking mob in jail. And then to just be randomly walking down the street. Fuck that.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd have moved to Epstein Island or something. Fucking hiding.
I agree with that. But anyway, the Borat movie, since you brought it up, was, you know, it was okay. It was kind of funny. I mean, you know, obviously it's not quite as organic and shocking as the original one.
No, but there was some parts that were funny. I liked the part when he walked into the store to buy the daughter the cage.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Well, you know, the funny part to me was the recall to the original movie.
Mm-hmm.
That because this was so far before the Trump administration, that he was taking a shit in front of Trump Tower.
Yeah.
You know, that recall part was really funny because, you know, Trump obviously wasn't president at that time.
Yeah.
And he was out there pretending to take a shit in the bushes right in front of Trump Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And to bring that back into this movie, what was it, 14 years later?
Right.
It was pretty funny. It was just like, holy shit. Now, you were doing this as a stunt,
Mm-hmm.
but now here we are 14 years later, and President Trump is now the president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And you were taking a shit right in front of his building.
Right.
That part to me was funny.
Sure.
So, yeah, the Borat movie was okay. I mean, obviously it had some funny stuff, but again, this goes back to what you and I have talked about in the past.
Mm-hmm.
There will never be anything shocking and funny about anything ever again.
Oh, no.
Everything is so politically correct. I mean, I think the last thing that was actually organically shocking and funny was Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
He was the last of the shockingly funny people or funny situations ever. After that, it was over.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, there's moments, but there's not tons of them.
Yeah. That guy just talked off the cuff, and he was funny, and it was shocking, fucking the dead, and talking about, the method of giving blowjobs and shit like that. That was unheard of. Back in his time.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, there's never been anything that great since.
Well, what is there left to talk about?
Nothing.
I mean, that's really it.
It's over.
Yeah. And now we have so many outlets for fucking media that everybody's talked about everything. There's nothing left. There's really nothing left to shock anybody with.
Well, and the thing is that, one of the funnier comedians, not the funniest, but the funnier comedians opened up for Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
Last week, Bill Burr.
Oh yeah, I like Bill.
Yeah, Bill's great. But again, he tried to be Bill Burr on Saturday Night Live, and it just received a lot of blowback.
Of course.
Oh, he was politically incorrect. He criticized women. He did this and that and the other thing. And it's like, he's Bill Burr. This is the reason you brought him on. So you want to censor him for what he does?
Yeah, they want neutered Bill Burr.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah. It's the same reason that they're all mad at Ricky Gervais.
Exactly.
They brought Ricky Gervais on, and he shit on him.
Yeah, and the same reason why, Joe Rogan. Oh, you can't have Joe Rogan talking about this or that because it really hurts our feelings about it. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
We're going on strike. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, you just have to, we've talked about this forever. It's going to take more people like Burr to just drive through it. Just do their shit, not give a fuck what anybody says, and just go for it.
Well, here's the thing. Why would Saturday Night Live bring a Bill Burr on to begin with? Because he's successful with what he does on his own.
Yeah.
So we want to bring you on, but we want to censor what you do.
They want the success. They don't want the character.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So, and the same thing with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan built up an audience over 5 years because of what he does. But now that we got you, we want to censor what you do.
And again, we want the success. We don't want,
The success is the reason you have the success is because of what he does.
Yeah. And dude, let me share with you how fucking ridiculous fucking Spotify is these days. So, and I know we're jumping all over the map.
It doesn't matter. It's all relevant.
So Spotify, I don't know if you're aware of this. You're probably not. But Spotify announced that for podcasts that you can use their music. Did you hear about this?
I was not aware, no.
Yeah, you can add music from Spotify to your podcast. And the way you do it is you can plug it in before or after, or you can actually cut a mid-roll and put a song in between or whatever you want to do into your broadcast, okay? So when I first heard this news, I was like, okay, that's fucking really going to be convenient. And it's, and I get it. It's, it's Spotify exclusive. So you would have to for us, we would have to post the show twice. Once so it goes out to all of our, Apple podcasts and everything else. And then once for like a Spotify exclusive that has the music. But in theory, we could have the music that we play as part of the segments. Or I could release a full show, a full 6-hour thing that's Spotify exclusive with all of the music.
Okay.
And that sounds pretty good, right?
Sounds good to me.
Here's where it gets stupid all of a sudden. And this is where I decided not to do this based on the stories that we've read recently about fucking Spotify. When you do it, you have to submit your show with the songs for review.
Okay. So it has to be pre-approved.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not an instant review.
Yeah.
I did a couple of I went safe just to make sure we didn't get canceled. And I did some of the Aftershocks interviews, just to try it. And I posted I marked them on Thursday. None of them have been approved yet.
Okay. Those have been 3 days.
Yeah.
2 or 3 days.
And none of them have been approved, just to have a song or two at the beginning and end of each fucking interview.
Okay.
And these are the interviews that are as clean as can be. They really, for the most part, don't even have swearing in them. So it's just us talking to Seven Dust, and here's a Seven Dust song, or here's a, Armored Saints song or whatever. Not approved. 3 days. We're still waiting. And it may end up being approved at some point, but it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. By this time, it's irrelevant.
Yeah. And for the CMS, if we can't get something approved in 3 days that's clean, what are they going to do with us? Who's approving, and what are they approving? And they never say anything. Are they approving content? Are they just looking to make sure that we don't have other copywritten music in the show, in the podcast? What are they looking for? So I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I am not putting the CMS out there to get fucking yanked down. Just not going to do it.
Yeah.
But it just sucks, because that's the world we're living in right now. Is everything is about being censored. And all these fucking assholes, every one of them, especially some of these fucking assholes in this chat room too, that fucking remember 2 years ago when I said I was going to start doing things to get around the censorship? Every fucking one of them. You're making shit up. Hey, you guys aren't big enough to be on their radar.
Yeah, you're not even in the radar, man.
That kind of shit happens to the big guys, not to shows like the Classic Metal Show. Meanwhile, we get fucking flagged every goddamn week. 2 to 3 of the episodes get flagged by YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. Every week. And it's like we have to battle this shit. That's why I'm so adamant with everybody to fucking go to the alternative sources. Use what you use when you have to use it, but if there's another place to get it from there. Don't let these libtard fuckwads fuck with your life. Ugh, fucking hate it.
I agree. Well, what do you say we take a break and we'll come back and we'll wrap up the show with some Judge Akin?
How about we don't? Let's just roll.
Okay.
I'd rather just do 4 segments tonight.
All right.
What do you think of that?
Fair enough.
All right, you want Judge Akin? Where's my wig? I'll pull my wig out right now. People can watch me getting into character right now. No.
Get the powdered wig out. Get ready to rock and roll with some Judge Akin.
Take the glasses off for this. All right. Court's in session. All right, let's do this.
All right. Well, my computer would cooperate here. Keep getting that whole little circle spinning around and around and around. I don't know why it does that.
This the new computer?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know why it does that, but
Like it's out of memory or something.
no, it's got plenty of memory. It's got a terabyte in there.
No, not that, of RAM memory. It's like it's all blocked up from.
No, it's plenty of stuff in there.
Don't know. I mean, that's usually what it is RAM.
No. All right, let me see here. Finally cleared up here.
All right.
Let me see what we got here.
Let me get my little gavel thing here. Order in my goddamn court.
Order, God damn it. Let me see here. Let's go with this here.
Okay.
Is that gum in your mouth, Donnie?
No.
You have a little crush on me?
No. Yeah. I don't know what I'm supposed to say right now.
You know, I've been watching you all year, Donnie. When you hit that shot to beat Fairfield and you were jumping up and down in your little Larry Bird short shorts and sweating like a jar of pickles in the hot sun. God, that was so hot.
Is this really happening?
This is happening. It's happening right now in my office.
Okay, awesome. So I'm totally in. How do you want to do it? Because I made sex before lots of ways. So you want to go straight to hand jobs or eating me out or taking me from behind? I'll teach you. I'm a virgin.
All right.
My favorite part is still that he gets every single one of them wrong.
Exactly.
Taking me from behind, hand jobs.
Melissa Nosti, N-O-S-T-I.
Let's give her a look.
Melissa Nosti, 33, who lives in a suburb of Sydney, Australia.
Okay.
She pleaded guilty for having sex with a student at a school where she worked in 2010.
2010.
10 years ago.
All right, so the kid she fucked is now like 30.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
However, when the ex-flight attendant appeared in court by way of video from the Silverwater jail, her lawyer made a bail appeal saying Nosti was a low risk for exhibiting familiar or similar. Let me start that. She was at a low risk for exhibiting similar behavior a second time based on a doctor's assessment.
Okay.
She was employed after this. She was in the airline industry.
Mm-hmm.
Following the appeal, Nosti was released on bail, according to the Star or the Daily Star.
Yeah.
Her bail was granted on the condition that she owned one mobile phone and gave the police the password when asked.
All right.
She is also not allowed to contact the victim or be in the company of persons under the age of 16.
Jeez.
Look at her. She's got some big old boobies.
Yeah, I was gonna say I already see two reasons why she's not guilty, but go ahead.
Well, she's kind of got a big old schnoz, but she got some big boobies to match that.
Yeah. She has a head? Didn't notice.
Nosti will appear at an appeals hearing later this year. In September, a former teacher assistant pleaded guilty to having a sex with a 14-year-old student in Urbana, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Alyssa Gustafson 24 will be sentenced on October 30th. That's coming up this week by Judge Akin,
Okay.
who on Monday accepted her guilty plea to a single count of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. You might want to look her up too. Her name is Alyssa, Alllyssa
Okay.
Gustafson, Gustafson.
I got her.
Alyssa Gustafson.
I think Alyssa's going to have a little bit more of a problem than Melissa.
I think Judge Akin is going to have to rule on two chicks.
Yeah, I think Melissa's going to do a little better than Alyssa. Just a hunch as I sit here in my chambers. Yeah. All right, I got her. Who am I ruling? Should I put her picture? I can only put one picture at a time.
Well, put both of them up.
All right, well, I can't put them both up.
Well, no, I mean, put one up and put the other one up. The other girl, the one you have up there, she's got the big boobies.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take her down, and I'm gonna put this other fine citizen up.
Now this is the Urbana, Illinois girl.
Yeah.
Ooh, yikes!
Yeah. Well, she may have been crying.
No booby shot for her.
I'm looking to see, and there's really not. No, there's really no way to tell what's going on under there.
All right, she's a very average-looking girl.
Yeah, regular girl 5.
All right. She had worked at the school between March 4th and September 4th of 2019 at the Circle Academy. Gustafson was charged in November of 2019. Now, these sentences are about a year old, almost a year old, or pleads rather,
Okay.
are about a year old, with engaging in multiple sex acts with the 14-year-old between March 1st and August 30th.
Okay.
The teen's mother filed a civil suit against the academy in February of this year,
Okay.
seeking $5 million in damages and claiming willful negligence and disregard for her son's welfare.
I put a different picture up of her that's much better.
Yeah.
Now we're in a different ballpark.
Yeah. Well, people put way too much out there online.
Yeah, but
As far as I'm concerned.
that mugshot picture really did her no justice.
None at
Look
all.
this picture. This is I love her eyes.
Yeah, she's got her eyes are kind of set far apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this.
But she's kind of got a Joker mouth.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, she's got kind of like a Blackie Lawless mouth on KFD.
Don't ruin my fantasy. I like her.
I mean, think about it. Look at can you pull up the KFD album cover and look at her mouth? It almost is identical.
The album cover
Wasp KFD cover.
Cover?
Yeah, when he and Chris Holmes are like side by side.
The cover is like a refrigerator. Or something.
No. There's a picture.
Oh, the song "Kill Fuck Die."
Yeah.
I found it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Open the new tab. I'm just gonna pop it up. Give a fuck what it looks like. Let's see. There.
Look at that.
Yeah, it is kind of. It's got that crow thing going. The crow.
Exactly. Now, can you put her picture back up? Look at Blackie, and now look her picture.
All right, let's go back to her. Which one was she? Is this her? I don't remember if this is her. No, that's not her. That's the same one. Wait a minute.
Okay.
I'll find her. Making me work hard here. The judge isn't supposed to work this hard.
I know, we need an intern. Yeah, see? Same mouth.
Yeah. I still like her better.
I would imagine you would. All right. Well, we got 2 rulings, Judge Akin.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Well, hold on. What did she do again? She fucking.
What's that?
How old was the student she banged?
Let me look at the thing here. She banged out let me see here.
Like 13 or something?
No. I think he was 14. Let me see. Let me look at real quick. Let's see, where the hell was it? Alyssa Gustafson.
Mm-hmm.
She banged out a 14-year-old.
All right.
And the girl from Australia, she banged out I don't think it she
banged out somebody underage. That's fine. I already know my ruling on her.
She was 15 years old.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a ruling for her. I wanted to know on this one.
All right. So
I'm ready.
That kid was 14.
All right. Okay.
So the kid from Urbana, Illinois was 14.
Okay. I'm ready.
It's time for sentencing from Judge Akin.
All right. I'm going to start with Alyssa Gustafson here, the Illinois girl.
Yes.
She banged out a 14-year-old.
Yes.
This is clearly the best chick he's ever going to bang out.
Okay.
So let's keep that in mind.
So you don't even know what this kid looks like. You're pretty confident that this kid will never get any better pussy than this.
I'm confident that as a young kid, he got a 24-year-old that looks like this.
Well, I'm going to agree with you, Judge.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good get. And when he turns 18, 19, 20, odds are good he ain't going to do that good. So now here's where the question in the sentencing lies, though. Do I lighten her sentence for being the best piece of ass this kid's going to get? Or do I take from her years because she might have ruined anything that he gets in the future?
That's a good question.
You know, I mean, he might be dissatisfied with college.
He's going to have a comparison to make.
Yeah. And he might be dissatisfied with girls his own age forevermore because he's used to banging chicks like 10 years older.
Sure.
And that might ruin his life when he's 40 and he starts banging, 55-year-olds or whatever. So we got to think about these things, Neely. This is a long-term sentence.
Well, this is why the wisdom of a judge is very important in these rulings.
That's right. So I would say, giving her a good look over in those eyes, and just imagining when I was 14 years old, looking down at those eyes while getting my dick sucked, I'm going to say key to the city. Key to the city.
Even though she has the Blackie Lawless Joker mouth.
Still, she may have the Blackie Lawless Joker mouth, but it sounds to me like she probably used it in the appropriate manner. So I'm going to go ahead and give her the key to the city.
Now, is she one of the contributors to what was that website we looked at earlier tonight?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Quora?
Yeah, Quora.
She probably has, I could look on Quora to see if I'm a teacher that fucked a 14-year-old. What should I do?
I'm thinking, was she part of the group that, made her online confessions of sucking a dick?
She may have been. Just giving her a look and seeing that mouth, I could see her kneeling down in the dunes and taking 30, 40, 50 dicks at a time.
Okay.
Why not? So yeah, I'm sticking with key to the city, Neely. That's what happens for Miss Gustafson.
All right.
Have a nice life, cutie.
Okay. Now, what happens to our Australian gal who, who basically, she she fell under the spell of a young person as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in, Australia.
Yeah. Do I even need to make a ruling on this? Look at those tits.
She's got some big tits.
This is a massive. I might give her.
Now this is Melissa Nasty.
Yeah, Melissa Nasty. I'm gonna give
now
her.
She's 33. Is she too old for Judge Akin?
Not with those boobs.
All right.
Absolutely not. I'm thinking, since her name reminds me of the fact that she has a big nose, she has to be penalized for that because she's Nasty the Nostril. But other than that, I mean, she's damn near perfect. She was, this was 10 years ago. So she was 23 years old. She fucked a 16-year-old with those tits with probably, 10 years less hang on those tits. So they must have been higher up.
What would you estimate those tits to be? 38 D?
D's or doubles.
36 or 38?
Those are 38s.
Okay, 38 D's.
Those are at least 38 D, if not double D.
Okay.
I'm gonna think those are double D's right there. So, and she really didn't go that. She went 8 years. 8 years. What's 8 years among students and teachers? That's barely a difference. Wasn't that long ago? She was a student. And, but I got to give her something for that, Nasty the Nostril. So I'm going to give her 3 months to get a little plastic surgery on that nose and make her look like an even hotter chick. And then she can have fucking key to the city.
So basically her name is Melissa the Schnoz.
No, she's Nasty the Nostril.
Yeah. She's Melissa Nasty the Schnoz.
Yeah, the Schnoz.
Exactly.
Back to those 50s names again. The Schnoz.
The Schnoz. All right. So without her saving grace of the big boobies,
yeah,
she could have got a harsher sentence.
Well, she could have got 8-10 years nearly.
Okay.
But look at those cans.
Man, she's got some big boobies.
I mean, dude. I mean, when you got tits that big, is there really any damage done?
In my opinion, no, Judge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If this kid who was 6, dude, well, you never, did you ever even feel a chick up when you were in high school?
No.
Never?
No.
Dude, just getting your hands on a fucking regular girl's tit in high school was such a fucking thing.
Well, of course.
To get your hands on those? Jesus Christ, you could be learning to motorboat before you were fucking out of high school.
Exactly.
That's good. That's good work there if you can get it. Yeah. Just imagine that. Dude, I would have I know me. I would have had trouble just doing my schoolwork with those fucking boobs. If I saw those boobs in coming into my classroom every day, I would have been fucking, if she ever called me to the board, it would have been the old book in front of the dick thing. Because I couldn't walk up there with a hard dick.
Sure.
And I would have had a hard dick all the time for Mrs. Nostril here. Now we didn't. That's one piece of evidence we didn't have for either of these two is, are they married today, or were they married when they were fucking students? We didn't have that piece of evidence.
Not at all.
And I will just say that if either of them were, then that changes my sentence drastically.
Sure.
Because I don't like the guys getting shit on, even if they are pathetic with their chicks. It's too much insult to be a 30-year-old man being cheated on by a 14-year-old. That's just too much damage to the husband.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm gonna say for her 3 months, get a little plastic surgery. She's back out on the street.
All right.
Put her to work.
Fair enough. Well, I got another case for you here, Judge.
All right.
A 32-year-old Wisconsin school staffer who sexually abused a 16-year-old student.
Okay, 16. Mm-hmm.
And told police she was going through, quote unquote, extensive personal issues in her life at the time.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
On Monday, former Green Bay school staffer, you might want to look this up.
I'm ready.
Her name is Courtney, Courtney,
Mhm.
Roznowski, Roznowski, was going to be sentenced by Judge Akin after pleading no contest to one count of exposing intimate parts to a child.
I got bad news for Miss Roznowski. She better have some really good reasons why.
Roznowski was initially charged with 3 counts of sexual assault of a student by a school staffer and 2 counts of exposing intimate parts to a child for sexually abusing a 16-year-old student in 2019.
Okay.
However, the 3 more serious charges were eventually dropped because the then 31-year-old was not actually a Green Bay school district employee when she had sex with the student.
Mm-hmm.
During her sentence hearing, Roznowski told the court that she had turned her life around since being arrested.
All right.
I know what I did was wrong. While I did not initiate the relationship, she didn't initiate it. I would have put an end to it once I realized that the messages were being sent to me were from a student at the school. Like, she didn't know that?
No, apparently not.
Please have it in your heart to see the good in me. Have me keep working. Have me keep seeing my counselor. Have me be around my family daily. Overall, I hope my actions for at least the last 13 months have shown you how serious I have and will continue to take this.
Mm-hmm. All right.
However, Judge Akin called Roznowski the nightmare of every parent.
No, Judge Akin did not say that. Let's be clear here. Judge Akin does not see what she did as a nightmare to a parent.
You are frankly the nightmare of every parent, because what a parent assumes is that their child is in a safe environment with a trusting people. But I have to tell you, I am unimpressed by your comments about a good heart. You drove over there. It doesn't have anything to do with heart. Roznowski was arrested in August after Child Protective Services received a tip and initially denied having a sexual relationship with the student, according to the criminal complaint.
No.
But when she was asked to hand over her phone, she began to cry and admitted that she had started to having sex with a teen in the mid-July. She said she initially intended to be the boy's mentor and that she loved him in a way that I didn't want to see anything happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
She said she told police that she was drinking heavily
Mm-hmm.
at the time of the relationship.
Yeah.
When the police spoke to the victim, he denied the rumors, but said he was aware of the allegations of the inappropriate relationship between the pair, saying, well, if every kid's dream was to do a teacher. He later confirmed the sexual relationship and said Roznowski told him he was special and he deserved special things.
Mm.
So Roznowski said this kid,
to be clear, the student said he was glad that he fucked his teacher.
yeah, basically that's what he said.
Okay. Just
All right.
I understand the evidence.
All right.
It's time for sentencing from Judge Akin.
Well, Neeley, I got to tell you, this is a much harder decision than the first two that you gave me, which were fairly simple.
Did you say harder?
Harder, not heart, like she said, harder. as in the stiffness of young 16-year-old boy's dick when he fucking invaded her.
Right.
Now, on the one hand, as the student himself acknowledged, it is every kid's dream to fuck his teacher.
Yeah.
It's every boy's dream anyway.
Sure.
So there's that. And that's legitimate, I think. The negative is she's what I call an iceberg, Neely. Can have a cute face, which she seems to have a pretty cute face. But I promise you, every fucking photo of her on her Instagram, on her Facebook, whatever, is either taken from 1 inch away from her face or taken from a mile over her head.
Right. Because she's a thick chick.
Yeah. She's the kind of chick that sank the Titanic.
Right.
She's, she's kind of I can't tell for sure if she's a flatso or just a moderate titty girl, but she's got a lot on the bottom half.
Yeah, she's just a thick girl.
Yeah, she's a thick broad.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all
just look at her face.
Yeah.
On that picture on the left.
Mm-hmm.
She's consumed a pizza or two.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, there won't be much pizza in prison. I'll tell her that now.
And she's got sideburns.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing.
I mean, if you look at the picture on the right.
Yeah.
She's definitely got sideburns. I
was going to ask exactly what was up with the Wolverine look, but thank you for pointing that out to the listeners, Neely.
She's got a wolf patch.
Yeah. She's definitely looks like she could star in an Avengers movie.
All right.
So there's that.
All right.
Now, the quote unquote victim has said he was down.
Yeah, he was all about banging the teacher.
Yeah. So in most of my cases, Neely, I would go with an instant not guilty because the student himself said he was good with it.
Yeah, he was good with, man, I got a piece of ass. I'm 16 years old. I got a piece of ass.
Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I'm going to let the student's own words of that he was good with it. Yeah. I'm going to let that erase the iceberg fact of her look. I'm going to, for the first time in Judge Akin history, I'm going to not judge her on her appearance.
Okay.
I'm taking appearance off the table. But I'm still going to give her a year, or in fact, I'm going to give her 2 years.
2 years.
And I'm going to tell you why.
24 months.
24 months, because I cannot forgive stupidity. And the stupidity of she got arrested and the police, and think about this for a minute, if you can think of how this went. The police came to her and handed her phone and said, unlock the phone. And she started crying and unlocked the phone, right? That's what the evidence was?
That's what was said, yes.
Anybody with half a brain takes one step back and smashes the phone on the ground. You smash the phone, hence destroying the evidence.
Like Hillary Clinton did with the hammers.
That's right. You just, boom, throw it down as hard as you can and break that phone and at least give yourself a chance. If she would have given herself a chance, instead of whining and crying that she was guilty like a weak-minded bitch, I would have given her a straight not guilty no matter what she did. But the fact that she caved in on this case, I have to give her time for being weak.
Okay.
And, she showed this young lad weakness. She forced this young lad to somehow think that what he did was wrong by banging his teacher.
Right.
And it wasn't. So she has to do time for that mental abuse to this student. So I'm going to give her 2 years. And you know what? But I'll be kind because it's my birthday and I'll suspend sentence.
All right. Time served.
Time served.
All right. Very good.
So there.
All right. Well, we got one last case on the docket, Judge.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this is not quite as, titillating or sexual or sexy as our first two cases.
Well, Nasty Nostril was as titillating as we need for any 5 cases. So.
A Louisiana man.
Guilty.
was arrested after he was discovered living in the bedroom closet of a 15-year-old girl.
Oh, boy.
At about 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon, Henderson County deputies responded to a call in Spring Hill, Florida, after the parents of a 15-year-old girl allegedly discovered the man inside their daughter's closet.
Oh, Jesus.
He lived in her closet.
In her closet. Okay.
Yeah. The man allegedly told investigators he had driven from Louisiana to have sex with the unidentified victim.
Oh, boy. All right.
So he drove from Louisiana to Florida.
Because he was cyber chatting with her.
Well, I think this goes back to our friend. What's his name? The guy who did our ID for us, Chris.
Chris.
Well, what's the guy's name from the underage predator thing?
Oh, Chris Hansen.
Yeah, Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
Yeah. The suspect advised on his current trip he had been in Hernando County for about 5 weeks and had sex with the victim on numerous occasions.
Oh, boy.
Jonathan, might want to look this guy up. Jonathan, Johnathn, Ross Moyne, Rossmoine, 36, was arrested and charged with 4 counts of lewd and lascivious behavior.
I don't want to judge anybody yet, but this guy couldn't look more pedophile if he wanted to. Good Lord. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, this is why this is before the bench, Judge, because you have to basically disseminate whether this guy deserves any kind of a sentencing of any kind.
I think any human being on the planet could take one look at his bad mustache and say, "Yep, guilty." Done deal, friends.
Well, let's not let stereotypes rule or cloud your judgment.
I'll give him a fair chance here.
With a victim between the ages of 12 and 16, and 1 count of obscene communication, according to the online records. His bond was set at $25,000 after he made his first appearance in front of Judge Akin.
No, it should be $25,008 so he can get a fucking haircut too. Good Lord.
He's got the retard bowl cut.
That is a prison cut if ever you've seen one.
Yeah, that's the Pete Rose cut.
Yeah, no shit. Are we sure this isn't a commercial for the Shriners Hospital? Good Lord.
Rose Moyne and the 15-year-old girl met 2 years ago through the online chat app.
Mm-hmm.
Police said that he told them he had traveled several times from Louisiana to meet the victim.
Mm-hmm.
She allegedly told police that Rose Moyne had been living off and on inside of her closet since August 19th.
And the parents never figured that out?
That's my whole point. The August of 2019.
Are you going to tell me? So that's like a year?
Yeah.
And in a year, mom never went in there to fucking hang up a dress or something and said, "Hey, what's this pillow and blanket doing in here?"
Apparently not.
Take a drink, Neely. Go ahead. It's okay.
Apparently not.
Yeah, Jesus criminy. All right.
Hernando County Sheriff's Office Detective Tom Cameron said that the girl's parents became suspicious when they heard noises coming from the closet.
Do you think?
It was unclear whether he had obtained an attorney. Deputies said additional charges were possible, etc., etc.
He would have obtained a bullet if I heard noises from my daughter's closet. Holy smokes.
It's time for sentencing from Judge Akin.
Well, this one seems fairly easy to me. My sentence for this guy, is a special seat that was held once by Ted Bundy at Florida State Prison. Fry this motherfucker.
All right.
I want him fried. In addition, I want the parents put in the same goddamn chair as soon as they peel his fucking smoldering corpse out of it and put them in it for letting this happen for a fucking year. How do they let this happen for a year? Guilty, guilty, guilty. All of them guilty.
All right.
Including the daughter. Put the daughter in fucking jail too. What is the matter with her?
I think all of them get eliminated from this
Yes.
mortal coil.
Even at 15 years old, you should be able to look at this fucking guy and say, nope, not spreading my legs for that. For this fucking Dirk Diggler wannabe fucking creep.
Diggler.
Fucking creep.
Right.
Now, I want them all off the planet. I don't want to hear any more about these people. You know, I want to break this gavel. I want to hit this fucking thing so hard of being guilty. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Fry them. Give them the Bundy halo and turn the juice, baby.
All right.
Good Lord. What a horrible story.
Yeah. So this guy drove all the way from Louisiana.
Yeah.
And was able to do this, according to him, numerous times.
Have a seat here. You traveled to have sex.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up another edition of your Classic Metal Show.
That's right.
I want to thank everybody who's tuned in and hung out in the chat room and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best way to end the show,
yes,
is to play, regardless if you like these guys or not. I think they have an appropriate song.
All right.
Going to end the show with some Radiohead, Creep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What a musical show we've had on this night. 4 fucking Genesis songs and Radiohead.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
But the guy, Judge Akin, just sentenced to the electric chair as a creep.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely a creep.
Exactly. All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back next Saturday. We'll be doing it all over again. Everybody have a safe and enjoyable week. And this is Neeley, along with my very good friend,
Judge Akin.
And we're gone.
Bye, kids.